Here we are. Right in front of the Freemason Center. Perfect. We're going to wait for some people to get in the room. Welcome and thank you for joining the trumpet as y'all starting to join in here. Yep. It took us 3 minutes to get logged into this thing. It did. I mean, I don't know what type of block when we put the live timer, it wouldn't let me go into that live format. There we go. There's people. There's some kind of lights going into this thing. Well, thank you for joining us. We're starting to collect some people get in here. It took us about 3 minutes. Once we put that timer up, it wouldn't let us get into a live format, so it held us to the truth there. But we're right in front of the Freemason Center in the Cotton Exchange in Savannah, Georgia. And you've got me, Mr. and Mrs. Trumpet here, and we're just waiting for some more people to collect in here. And we're going to take y'all on a trip around where we are in Savannah and how this operated in the 1800s. Savannah was founded 1700s, in the 1733s. Pretty interesting city. So we got a beautiful day, don't we? There's no sun, so it's easy to control the light, and that's really just a blessing to have a cloud cover like this. And I want to start everything that I ever do with a prayer. Thank you, Father, Jesus, for getting us together as a family. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. And I always like to keep Jesus in the middle of everything that I do. And I have a bunch of buddies that are Freemason friends, and of course my father was a Freemason, and I want to tell you that I've never seen some bigger Christians in the Freemasons. I know we hear a lot of controversy. I am not a Freemason. I hear a lot of controversy about them, but from the people that I know personally, I have nothing bad to say about those guys. But I don't really agree with everything they do either. And we like that we disagree, and we agree that we disagree. But we're right here in front of the Freemasons Lodge in Savannah, and I'm going to let this gather a little bit more. And there's actually a tour right in front of me right now, so I don't want to jump up and crash the middle of his show. But Jill's going to help me with this, and she's going to help me modulate some of it. I can flush the toilet. All right. What does that mean?
I blocked it.
Oh, what is somebody giving me static? If there's any haters on here, you know what? I'd appreciate that, but I don't listen to that. I don't cast any pearls at the swine, and there's always going to be a couple of people that don't believe in the things that I say. And, of course, I'm not asking for you to. I say things that I see, and when I see something that's given to me, I just sort of pay attention to it, and then I tell it to you. That's why I have a bunch of interesting stories, and a lot of people like my content because I'll go into the scripture that I see in the Bible and I read it, and people say, you know, I don't see it that way, and I totally get that, man. I mean, I get a lot of conflict in my videos. 257,000 people like one of your videos or view it, and you know, you say they say this and they say that. It's actually one or two people that actually disagree. But I feel like we've got a good bit of people in the room, and I'm going to pick the camera up and walk you around a little bit and show you where we're at. Miss Trumpet, you're going to sit there and look beautiful. This is one of the first times that I've worked with this thing, so help me where it says turn the camera around and all, honey. Do you see that? All right.
That's the timer.
That's the timer, right? There we go. Y'all will help me out. We're going to walk right out here, and I'm going to show you the Freemasons building. But I wanted to show you one of the things that are right up top. Y'all tell me if y'all can hear me good. And Jill, if you'll sit there and watch the comments and make sure that they're hearing me good. Look right here at the top of the building. Point it up where they can see the top of it. Look right there at the top of the building. That's the most interesting thing. It's got this guy, the upper half of his body, the rest of it. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, it's like a half vine and half guy. And this is the Freemasons Hall in Savannah, Georgia. Uh-oh. Here we are. Well, anyway, y'all bear with me as we go through this. I didn't want to try to turn the camera around, and of course we can't figure out how just yet. But Jill, I'm sure will figure that out. Anyway, let's walk right over here. see the rest of the building. You can see that Savannah Freemasons Hall is built on a 40-foot bluff. And Savannah, right here, is all built on what they call Upper Factors Walk, and it's all 40 foot over the city streets of Savannah. So there's a 40-foot bluff that captures right through there. I'll take you right down to this part of the city. This right here, that's all Upper Factors Walk. And that's where they counted all of the cotton and all of the exchange that came through Savannah. You see that? The bridges, steel bridges. You can see right along here all the cotton warehouses. There's the cotton exchange. The Freemasons Hall. They started all this. Y'all seen this old lions? Everything that's right in here, that's the lion that's in my videos a lot. Let's go right over here. And here's the Freemasons Lodge. A lot of times I read right off of this sign and people don't like it. They say that they have this oldest lodge and they have this. That's all cool. I mean, I'm sort of just reading right off the signs. But you can see right here, it says that it's chartered by the Grand Lodge of England as the Lodge of Savannah in the province and is the oldest continuously operating English constituted lodge in the Western Hemisphere in 1786. So that was founded by General George Oglethorpe, and he founded Savannah. So, you know, you've got somebody that founded Savannah. He was a known Freemason. Their biggest port was cotton. And you can see right down here, this is the cotton exchange, and this was the first building that was built over a roadway. So all of the cotton that came and went right underneath this building right here. And it came right down that street. You can see it. It goes for miles that way because there were billions of pounds of cotton that went right underneath this. None of this would have been here. None of this would have been in the way of that roadway. It would have come down, this would have went right through, and then would have went right underneath the cotton exchange, right underneath Savannah. So let me show you what the sign says over here. It's really cool. The cotton exchange right here, it had over 2 million bales per year move through it. It's 500 pounds per year, per bale, and that's 2 million bales. That's 1 billion pounds of cotton. So it's 500 pounds per bale, 2 million, that's 1 billion pounds of cotton. Cotton costs $1 per pound. So that's $1 billion. 1 billion pounds of cotton went down that road, under that building, and was traded in Savannah for gold. It was the only standard that they had. They had 1 billion pounds of cotton, and they traded $1 billion worth of gold for it in 1860s. You want to do that and do something with it? But in 1860, so that's $1 billion. They had $1 billion that went underneath that building right there. Oh, they told you how to do it?
No, I don't know how to turn it around. They're saying, do you believe that the tunnels are still here?
No, that's fine. I'll just hold it like that. That way I can see what
the words were backwards because of that. They were asking why the words were backwards.
That's because I had the camera and I don't figure out how to turn it around yet. So I'm not super interaction, more, enhance, music, voice effect, flip camera. Pow! Here you go. I'm sorry. I'm getting new to this and I want to take y'all places. You can see right here. Is that a little bit better? And that way I can talk. The cotton exchange, they had 2 million bales of of cotton went through Savannah. And they went underneath that building right there. 2 million bales, 500 pounds per bale came down that road right there. So that's 1 billion pounds of cotton at $1 a pound is $1 billion that went underneath that building right there. So they counted and factored and costed all of this cotton throughout this whole thing. You've seen that lion in my videos there. And you've got $1 billion worth of gold on the docks in 1860 sitting underneath this building, the Freemasons Hall. Let me take y'all right up to it. Y'all bear with me. There you go. That camera, there you go. We got it turned around now. I just want you to look at some of the woodwork. This whole thing, this whole header over this door, this is all wood. You can see the texture in the wood, how this has all been engraved. I'm not going to invite anybody on because I just actually have whatever it is that keeps you from paying attention to too many things at one time. But you can just see that's the Savannah Cotton Exchange right there. And this is where all the cotton was factored. Solomon's Lodge number 1. Free and accepted made. You can actually see right here where it says they have their meetings. It's on the first Thursday. And that's what these guys did. Now again, let me show you this building. It's cool. Whoa, cool. It's built over a 40-foot bluff. So understand that all of this is over a 40-foot bluff, and everything goes right over that. That says Upper Factors Walk on that building right there. But like right here. And they would count all of the things as it went under that building down that road. 1 billion pounds of cotton and $1 billion worth of gold went back through. Now you can see that part right there, and there's the tower. Let's go look at underground, what like is underground Savannah. We're gonna walk just around a little bit. I want to show you the top of this building because it is a little weird. Let me zoom in. Look at that dude. Quit. He's half man, half whatever, and it's like a green man or something like that. It's just super weird. I don't know how to. I'm sorry. I got it. All right. Let's go down into this area where it goes downhill, but I want to walk you along the trellis and show you the Freemasons and the foundation of this building right here. So we're going to walk down this walkway right here. Here's one thing on the earth. They think that it is round. That's a Pegasus. Real quick. Solomon's Lodge number 1. And then right here, these people think that the earth is round, and that's totally cool with me. I like that. You can see this door is super huge, and it's on these rollers and sliders, so this thing just opens up wide. Miss Trumpet, how we doing?
Good.
All right. Come on, let's go down to Savannah, and we're going to go sort of under Savannah, but I'm going to cross a bridge before, and I'm going to show you some stuff. You can see right here, everything goes under. Let's go look at the old roadway that went through here. These are all the cotton warehouses. These are some of the restaurants that you can dine in. Places are gorgeous. I mean, Savannah, this is the best part of Savannah. If you ever want to go to Savannah, you want to come right here. These are the Baccaroons. It's all steel work from the 1800s. I'm gonna take you right over here to this bridge. This is the old customs house. Now there's a bell over here in Savannah that used to be on the roof of the customs house. It's right there. And that used to be on the pinnacle of that right there, that dome. But where we're going to is right there at the bottom. And that's the foundation of this building. Now I studied architecture over in Savannah College of Art and Design. And right there, a couple of squares up. And one of the things that I noticed was the cornerstone of this building right here is 40 feet up in the air off of the river. So you can see we've got a bluff. There's the cotton exchange where we just were. There's Miss Trumpet. There's the cotton exchange where we were, right there. There's that long road, and then this is where all the economy came through. These are the back rooms. We're going underneath there. And we're going to go right up through here. And look at that right there. That's the foundation of the building. There you go. That's where they rebuilt the customs house. And that's right above RiverStreet, but look how high the foundation is. Look at these people. It's like 30 foot here, and then this goes on down to the river, which I'll take you there. But let's go real quick. We were in the cotton exchange right there, and then we're going to go down to the cobblestones and through here. Now these cobblestones, this is something really cool. These were the ballast in the ships. I'm going to tell you a little story while we walk across here. And if we've got time, when I come back up through this loop, we're going to walk across the street, and I'm going to show you some of the signs where they had a court in this courtroom right here. And it literally started the Civil War right there in the customs. That's the customs house right there. And everything that you would come in line for would definitely have to go through customs for you to be cleared into the city of Savannah. So when people would come to Savannah, they had to come check in through this building right here. And this was the way you came into every country. You had to check in through customs. And we're going right underneath. This is all underground Savannah. Savannah was founded on a 40-foot bluff. And the thing about it being on a 40-foot bluff is that it was designed so that tunnels could be dug throughout the city and be a defensive fort. Now, I want to show you, we're down here now. We're sort of in underground Savannah. We were just up there in the cotton exchange. And if y'all are following along, this cotton exchange opens up to that big roadway, but there was 1 billion pounds of cotton and $1 billion worth of gold that went through this city right here. So in today's current exchange rate, a dollar bill back in 1860 is a $35 bill now. So there were $35 billion worth of gold going through the city right here, underneath the city, in these tunnels and down these roadways. And when they would come in to load, they would use these stones to help the boat float upright. So these were the ballast stones in the boats, and they took the ballast stones out whenever they would unload the gold or cotton or whatever it was, and they used these stones right here to help the boats float. Me and Jill went over to the places in Europe where they took the boats, and we'll walk into some of these. These are called the Baccaroons, and these are the old tunnels of Savannah right here. You can see it was built on this bluff, and it was all 40 foot tall, so they built it on that so that they could tunnel through all of these things right here and make these tunnels go into the city. And that was the protection that they used, was the tunnels, unknown throughout the city. You walk right in these things. Jill's not about walking into tunnels. I personally, I love walking into tunnels. And this is where they would throw like bales of cotton down. That goes up to the city streets. These are all barreled stones. This is a little connector between here. These are all big enough to have, oh man, that dripped on me. Oh no way. I'm just totally not about things dripping on me. I don't like little frogs or squirrel, little things on me. I'm a big guy, but I'm just not about that. I'm so glad y'all are on here with me. I'm the trumpet, Ezekiel 33:3. Everything I do, I love to talk about Jesus Christ. But I know so much about Savannah, Georgia, that I'm going to take y'all on a double trip. Now, understand that there was 1 billion pounds of cotton that went through that building, the cotton exchange right there. And $1 billion worth of gold was traded for it. And in today's market, that would be $35 billion. And they shipped it underneath the city, right through here, and through these tunnels. Now, there's a tunnel right over here, and nobody knows about this tunnel. And I'm going to see if there's a car parked in front of it. But there's a very infamous court trial, and I'm going to tell you about it in a little bit. And you can see that tunnel blocked up right there. There it is. There's the hidden tunnel of Savannah. Not too many people know about that. You know, these bricks are really cool. You can tell they're original. Every 5 courses, there's a soldier course. Typically, when you build something that's a normal fortification, every 5 courses, they would turn one brick sideways and stitch them together. But in this case right here, every other row is turned sideways into a soldier course. You can see them all right through here. Every other row is a soldier course. That ties 2 rows of bricks together. And that's just, I mean, that's how you build a city right there. We're going to go right down. I want to keep up with everybody. We're going to come right down the city streets of Savannah. We're going to go right down these cobblestones that, again, were the ballast in ships. And we're going to go by these baccaroons. And these were the old storage tunnels in Savannah. And this one doesn't connect. This one's just double, super creepy. Totally not about this. This is where they would throw things down from the upper city level. These were the tunnels that went under Savannah. You can see the soldier course of the bricks in right there. And then you can see another soldier course up here. Depending on the hardening of the structure, they would put different soldier courses in and tie the walls. But bricks from Tyre, they had clay from mortar. I'm sorry?
You're saying it's a header course.
It's a header course? It's a soldier course to me. But then again, I say a lot of things wrong in Georgia. And I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design and probably learned the right word for it. But I grew up in construction with my father, and I know what we said back then. I like them because they're all standing up like a soldier, is what my daddy told me. But they do put them on the headers, and a lot of times they'll stand them up on a header like that. Here's these old tunnels, man. These are just super cool. I love having all y'all join me, and I'm glad that y'all did. Let's walk down to RiverStreet real quick. And we're going to walk down to, remember, this is about 20 foot below grade, and that's the foundation cornerstone of that building. And that's Freemason symbol right there. Okay, so we're 30 foot underneath the ground, and we're going to unzoom and walk right down through these city streets. And these are the old cobblestones. Can everybody hear me good, Jill? Everybody hear me good? These are the old cobblestones. I'm going to back up and show you, that went down to the city streets, that were in the ballast of the ships. And then that's the cotton exchange. And then everything went underneath there. And the people that counted things were called factors. And it was called Upper Factors Walk. And these people factored and counted the money and cotton that went through the city. And these stones were in the bottom of the ships. We're in Savannah, Georgia. We're walking up to RiverStreet. And we just left the cotton exchange, which is 40 foot up that bluff right there. And you can see these are the baccaroons, and these are the little tunnels that they stored things in. And again, we're getting ready to go down along the river in historic Savannah. These cobblestones, me and Jill went to the two places where most of them come from. And Liverpool, England is where a lot of these cobblestones came from, and Portugal. And the ones from Portugal were typically pirate oriented, and they're down on the other end of the street. What we got to do?
That's my favorite restaurant.
Oh, this is a cool restaurant. Flaming cheese is just amazing in there. Let's get right down here to the river.
You did the riverboat tour. Are you a history buff?
No, I'm on TikTok with about 500 or 600 people. But I am a history buff.
Yeah, I overheard you.
You hear it coming out, don't you? Savannians are so nice, and I love all of those people. We were just up there on, that's the cotton exchange right there. Okay? And we're getting ready to go right up underneath there where they sent all of that gold and all of the cotton went in and out. These are the old cotton warehouses of Savannah, Georgia, and this is the RiverStreet and the stones that they've put in for RiverStreet. And again, that's one of Jill's favorite restaurants right there. And this is one of mine, RiverStreet Sweets. If you go in there, they will give you a free candy when you walk in the door, and I love that. You can get on that boat right there, and you can go on a tour. And doesn't it do like dinner and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Look at the boats down there.
Rain's coming.
Yeah, it might rain. Come on, we'll walk underneath the... I think we're going to get rain coming down here. So we're going to hurry up. We're going along the cotton warehouses on RiverStreet. Again, that's my favorite store right there. Some of these you can see the soldier courses, header course, whatever you want to do. I put them headers over the windows though, like that right there. Soldier courses were to stand through the wall, so I get it. You can see them in the middle of here. I love all this stuff. These are Savannah gray bricks. They are horrible waterproofing components. They're like a sponge, but they've been there for a couple hundred years, so they're amazing. Here we go. All right. You're right underneath the cotton exchange. I'm going to do the voice echo chamber. Huh? This thing right here evidently casts your voice somehow weird, and it doesn't sound weird until you get in the middle of it. So I'm going to see check. That's a weird thing. There's a cotton exchange right there. There's Mrs. Trumpet. And there's where all of the cotton and money went through that they traded along the river. And there were all these docks all along the RiverStreet, and all of the commerce went underneath that building, the Freemasons Lodge. Right there. Y'all hit the like button if y'all like that. I'm going to try to copy and record this so that we can go underneath that building. Just an amazing piece of history right here in Savannah. The things that are on and along this river are just super cool. A lot of interesting people that are underneath that building right now. Just sort of gonna not sure I want to do that.
Turn it around and talk to him.
Do what?
Turn it around and talk to him.
Here's historic Savannah RiverStreet. All of those buildings all the way down to there are the 1800s warehouses that you can see. These are all condominiums and apartments now. That's the Freemasons Lodge where we just were and all the commerce came. And this is all the warehouses along this way. They've torn down that some right there, built the Hyatt, and then the warehouses continue on down.
We can take a look.
All right. We've got people going back and forth, so I guess we're safe. Jill? We've got traffic, so I think we're okay. I'm not one. I'm 6'3" and 250 pounds. But when I sort of walk around things when I see things.
Where I was last time.
Come on, Joe. Right. Here we are under the Cotton Exchange. Again, this was the first building built. These are the original cobblestones underneath here. This was the first building built over a roadway in the United States. So Savannah was laid out to transport all of this cotton and all of the money that went underneath this building. So the factors would stay into this building, count the things that went underneath it. And as they counted those things, they would count them in what they were called factors. So the factors would dispatch if the money went one direction, or if the other gold went in one direction and money and cotton went in the other. There's a couple of different levels to this. I'll show you right underneath here. That's where we just were on the river. You can see it coming uphill towards us, and then that goes right down to that main city street, which that used to not be there, and then that goes up to the city streets of Savannah. And then there were upper factors up here and lower factors, and they had 1 billion pounds of cotton that they had to move, and $1 billion worth of gold that they had to get through this city. We're gonna go right back up top. A little breezy up there. All right, y'all bear with me while we go upstairs. How y'all doing?
Doing great. How are y'all doing?
Good. I'm tired walking up these stairs. Be careful.
Oh, we all the way down. I think rough is harder.
Now y'all just took the full loop with us. We walked right down through the back of rooms over here. Let me get to where we can see them.
This was just a small portion of Savannah.
Oh, this is one loop one thing. So all the stuff came under that city and got factored throughout the city through a 40-foot bluff. There's the customs building. We walked down those stairs and across that bridge and then down that cobblestones. Then we walked down RiverStreet, came along here, and back up underneath that building and just came up those stairs right there. And that's the Freemasons Lodge. It's an old one. Here comes the sun. And it's the oldest, you can see right there. I'll move my finger. It's the oldest continuously operating English constituted lodge in the Western Hemisphere. So that was founded by George Edward Oglethorpe. He's the founder of Savannah. So the Freemasons founded Savannah, and this was, well, then that sign's put up by the Freemasons, Paul. And I want to show you what kind of stuff they got. You know how I am about scripture. So your adversary, the devil, as a lion, walks around seeking who he can devour. So I'm always going to throw stuff like that in there. That's a freaky little lion right over here. I want to show you something about this building and this sign. There were 2 million bales a year that moved through Savannah. 2 million bales a year. So that's 500 pounds per bale.
Look at the symbol on the sign.
That's all right, what?
Look at the symbol on the sign.
What's the symbol? It's the Georgia state symbol. That's 1 billion pounds of cotton. 2 million bales, 500 pounds per bale is 1 billion pounds that went underneath that building and came down that long city street way down there. So I went right underneath here, and this wasn't here. So they put that there. Let's walk across the street, and I'm going to show you how Savannah's built. This is 40 foot up in the air where we're at now. So remember, we're over all of those tunnels. And I want to tell you a story while we're walking down the sidewalk, that Savannah was built on this bluff so that it could have these tunnels to keep all of the stuff that went through them a secret. It was built as a fort. It was a defensive mechanism to save South Carolina. Queen Caroline of the Carolinas was defended by King George. So King George, facing Spain, or the south of it, defended the Carolinas from Florida or Spain. So they didn't draw the tunnels of all through Savannah and tell everybody where they were, because it was a fort. Charleston, its sister city, built in the same time period, has 17 miles of documented tunnels. So it's pretty easy to establish that there are miles and miles of tunnels in Savannah, Georgia. That right there is Tondi's Tavern. And the original Sons of Liberty met in Tondi's Tavern. However, it's not located there when they met. It was on another part of town over there, downtown. This is that bridge we just walked over. Right here. There's the Cotton Exchange behind us. There's the bluff and the road. What? Do what? Again, here's the customs house. And we're going to show you what made this RiverStreet so popular down through Savannah.
You should point it towards you instead of just...
I'm sweating. That. I would point the camera. I don't know. I'm turn the camera around. Here, you hold that. I'm sorry.
He's sweating. Yes, there are ties to the pink house.
This guy right here, huge Freemason, Gazaway Bug Lamar. He's on the bottom of the dollar bills in that period. And I hope you can hear me good. But Gazaway Bug Lamar supported and financed the first iron vessel to go across the Savannah, to go across the Atlantic. Right here in the Savannah was the first steamship across the Atlantic. Now his son, Charles Augustus Lafayette Lamar, was the first person to bring in or the last person to bring in a boatload of slaves. There were 500 people that he went to Africa and picked up. He was tried for it in this building right here and acquitted for that crime because he was married to the judge's daughter. So I'm getting ready to take you right across from the customs house here. I'm getting ready to take you to the guy, his son, that had these boats, that owned these boats. We're going to cross the street. There's the cotton exchange where we were. We went down these stairs to get along the river. You can see it way down there. And remember the cornerstone. There we go. Let's cross right here. We're going to the bottom of the customs house right here. Trying not to kill in traffic. And I'm going to show you a sign that shows where these people...
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia. Look right here. That last sentence right here. In earlier years, it also served as a post office and federal courthouse. In 1859 and 1860, the celebrated cases growing out of the slave running by the yacht Wanderer were tried here before Justice Wayne of the U.S. Supreme Court. In 1860, that guy brought 500 slaves to Savannah, Georgia, and dumped them off on Jekyll Island and then pulled the boat up right down there. So that court happened right here. He walked down those stairs a free man because he was married to the judge's daughter. So Cal Lamar, Charles Augustus Lafayette Lamar, walked away a free man. He lived in the building next to this, and there's tunnels all underneath here. I'm going to show you some right here in the biggest square in Savannah, Georgia. This is Johnson Square that we're coming up to. Again, I'm the trumpet, and this is a little tour that we're going to take. And you're in Savannah, Georgia. All this has an underground network to it. We're going up to Johnson Square here. That's the customs house in Savannah, Georgia. And this is the main square. Savannah was built on 22 squares, I believe that it was. A couple of them have been disfigured and taken apart. It's 1111. I love it. It's 1111. Johnson Square, there's 9 stones in that obelisk right there. 2 squares, 9 cases each one. I want to show you one thing right along this building right here. Oh. How you doing? This is along Johnson Square. I've been in all these buildings before. These were once banks, and some of them still are, and this is the street level. But y'all all remember that we just climbed up a 40-foot bluff. So there's 40 foot of occupied dirt underneath the sidewalk that I'm walking through. And I was working on the roof of this building right here when I was a kid, and I saw down in between this alley, and I'm going to try to stick my camera down here, and you can see where the tunnel network is. Most of the people have blocked them off, and you can't see them from the city streets. So these buildings don't really show you that they're built, but I mean, you can imagine these places have these huge basements, and to think that there's not a tunnel, you know, the tunnel matrix runs underneath this road right here. That's the Pirate's house at the end of the road right there. That's the First African Baptist Church at the other end of it. So down Bryan Lane is the one tunnel. Right here, I'm going to show you an entrance right here to a tunnel, and people won't see this in Savannah. So if you come to Drayton, which is that long road where the cotton was, this is Cal Lamar's old bank. Ooh, now see, look right here. There's Johnson Square. And now this is down, this is underground Savannah right here, man. This goes down to the tunnels. I'm not going down there. No, dude, I am not about. Nobody knows about this. And see how that's blocked off right there? That goes through the tunnels, all through Savannah. Nobody ever comes in here and sees this, where these buildings are tied together. But again, we're about 30 foot, as you can see, we're under Savannah. Let's come out and get out of here. Yuck, double yuck.
What's down there? A bunch of junk.
I'm not, that's where the old tunnel entrances are down there. And you can see this is one of the main roadways. This was the Bryan Street Tunnel. So when they auctioned those slaves off of that ship, and the largest auction of slaves in the Western Hemisphere was right outside of Savannah, Georgia. And it was right after that guy dropped that boatload of slaves off on Jekyll Island. And a guy from that area, Butler, auctioned them off right there on a racetrack in Savannah. And again, that was the largest auction of slaves in the Western Hemisphere. It was called the Weeping Times, and it was where there was so much crying and the splitting up of the families and what have you. It turned the Georgia red clay to blood tears. This right here, it's old banking district. Calamar on the building. That building right there, you can see all how fancy it is. That was his bank. That was that tunnel we just went to right here. And if you go down Bryan Lane, people don't know to walk down these things, do they, Jill?
No.
Except me and my wife, we walk down them all the time. That's the Pink House right there.
They were saying you should do tours. Tell them we just closed the tour.
Yeah, we'll
company.
start doing them online. So these people all pay and join these parks and all this stuff. This building right here, this is the Pink House, and it was a red brick building that they painted white because they wanted it to look good, and the bricks bled through, so it turned the paint pink, and they just couldn't beat it, and so they just joined it, and they painted the thing pink. But this was the Planters Bank, and this is all definitely, I've been sitting at a table right down there, and there's a tunnel right underneath here, and there's a table that you can sit in right underneath that and sit in one of the tunnels. It's called the Planters Tavern, and the Pink House is under the Pink House. Let me show you. Pink, Bryan Street. That's the Pirate's House right down there. There's a tunnel that goes all the way down this street and goes all the way to the First African Baptist Church, and that's the one tunnel in Savannah. The other one is on Abercorn Street, which is right over here. Here's the Pink House. Everybody loves this place. It takes forever to get in here. But a lot of people don't know that.
Take a breather. Yeah.
Do what?
Take a breather. Someone said.
Oh, I should. I just breathe. I'm a big guy, so I've been walking for 30 or 40 minutes. I'm going to sound like this. Planters Tavern right there.
Take and show them down there.
Under Savannah. I wish it was open. Mm. 1771. This place is cool. If you can go in there, that was where the old Planters Bank was. Most of the time, if you can pick up pictures of money and what have you, it's going to be the Planters Bank that you see that money from. Let's walk right over here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. What do you think, Joe? I live in Vidalia, and I love Savannah. At least you've got the best onions in the world. I tell you what, to give tours, you'd have to be in shape. And I'm not. Thank y'all for walking with me through Savannah. We're up off of RiverStreet right now, walking along some of the tourist shops.
Come around and show you.
It's a pain in the butt to turn the camera on. Old buildings down here. This is that road that I was telling you about that goes down to the Cotton Exchange. That's where we just were. There's the Cotton Exchange right there. All right, 1 billion pounds of cotton and $1 billion worth of gold went right underneath that building right there and came all the way down this road here. This goes all the way down to Forsyth Park and all. So, man, there was staging area and where they had all these horse and buggies and wagons that were carrying this stuff. And, I mean, there's literally 1 billion pounds of cotton coming into Savannah. It's a huge economy that was coming through here. $1 billion worth of gold was the only thing they would have accepted for it. And that gold today, a $1 bill would be a $35 bill today. So you're talking about $35 billion worth of gold that came down these streets for this economy. And Jill, she jumped in one of these little stores over here. Anytime she sees something with a leopard print on it, she's gone. Where are you at, Miss Trumpet?
Sorry. I got sidetracked.
Come on, I'm gonna walk back into Johnson Square real quick.
I love that store.
I do too. I love all the little stores in Savannah. Hang on. Always watch out in Savannah. See, these roadways are arched. That's because they're built over tunnels. 40 foot, definitely. I can show you down on the other end of the road where the Pirate's house is. There's tunnels where 2 train tunnels went underneath Bay Street right there. So they're real easy to spot. It's just too far for me to walk down there. But we're going to walk right back into Johnson Square. This is the main square. I wish I could stop and load up some of the pictures that I have, but the main traders of the day, where they traded everything, was right here in Johnson Square. And Johnson Square is right there along Bryan Street Tunnel, the largest auction in the world, the Weeping Times. That was held by Bryan. What was his name? Joseph Bryan. When you look up those pictures in Savannah, and Joseph Bryan held that auction, and that street's named for him and goes down to the First African Baptist Church and connects the First African Baptist Church to the Pirate's house, which is at the other end of it right there. We're going to walk right back around to the customs house, and I'll show you this thing that's here. How y'all doing? Thing of green. There's our obelisk. The city is complete without a obelisk. Here's Savannah's 9-stone obelisk. There's the customs house of Savannah, Georgia. You can see right over to the right-hand side of that is where the Cotton Exchange was. The Cotton Exchange is the building next door, and we went all underground down through to RiverStreet. Take you around Johnson Square, Savannah, Georgia. Please come to Savannah. It's a beautiful place. Any of these people that are making sandwiches, any of these shops, just absolutely amazing. It's the coolest buildings in the world. Those are the old slave trading buildings. They tied right into those baccaroons. Remember we went to those baccaroons that were under the customs house? They're under that building right there. And when Cal Lamar was in a trial, he was in that building, the customs house right there. So everything's connected by tunnels. And again, there was $1 billion worth of gold in their day, $35 billion worth in our day. We're just transacting beneath the customs house and here. So, I mean, they wouldn't just push a cart down the road with a bunch of gold to get robbed. They would have put that underground on railroad carts. So you put that on something that would haul heavy sources through, coal mining cars, like what they have dug tunnels with when they hauled the debris out for the tunnels. So understand that a lot of times when people escaped out of Savannah, right there on the First African Baptist Church, the first thing they did was get into a tunnel with little railroad lines in it so that they could haul this gold and haul the debris out of the tunnels. And that was called the Underground Railroad. In Savannah, I mean, this is $1 billion industry. $35 billion, man. I got to say that again. And that's where they come onto the Underground Railroad, where they would have hauled that into Savannah. I don't know what kind of comments I'm getting on that, and I'm totally cool with, I hate, if there's any haters in here, I hope you get what you asked for. Here's our lovely little obelisk.
What's the famous fried chicken place here?
What's the what?
Famous, is it Paula Dean's? What's the famous fried
Paula Dean's restaurant's right over there.
Is that the famous fried chicken place?
Paula Dean's. Oh, Johnny Harris, maybe? Johnny Harris has the best fried chicken, but they closed that. Somebody bought them out and shut them down. But I would have to walk several blocks that way to continue the tour. We'll do another one. We're right over here. Jill, do you want to walk over here, or you want to roll this thing up and shut it down? You think we've been on for about an hour, haven't we? Almost. Well, good. It's 11:24. Do y'all want to go with us another little bit, and we'll walk back over here to the river again? We'll see if we got live together. I told some people we were going to try to stay on for an hour or so, and I'd love to. If y'all can put up with me being winded, I'll try to stop a little bit. But I love walking through Savannah, Georgia with y'all. I put the roof on about half of this stuff when I was a kid, and I can tell you that that building has a 3-story basement underneath it right there, and I know that it connects to that tunnel, which is Bryan Street Tunnel. Bryan is the guy, Joseph Bryan is the guy that auctioned all those people off at the racetrack, 400 and something people on one day in 3 days at the Weeping Times. And this was one of his operating offices, and this is the Bryan Street Tunnel underneath here, and you can just see where it came right underneath this. That's the Pirate's House down there, and that's the First African Baptist Church right down there. That's the Customs House. Let's not get killed, and I'm gonna cross the street. Tourist. They're not paying attention. There we go. Come on, honey. Horse and carriage tours. Those are cool if it's a hot day. I don't recommend getting on a smelly horse, behind a smelly horse on a hot day. But today is a beautiful day. Be green. I know this building right here. Regent's Bank building. Go down those stairs right there, and that goes down to the basement, and that's all below ground Savannah. That's the Customs House. There's where all the tunnels underneath Savannah right there. And they say Savannah has no tunnels. If you try to look up anything on the tunnels of Savannah, they'll show you the little piece of a tunnel at the Pirate's House way down the end of the road. It's about 15 foot long. And then they'll show you these other little entrances, but nothing. And they're going to tell me that all of this wasn't put together. It obviously was. Right here up at the Customs House, pretty interesting building. Of course, it's got a dome. A lot of things about the history of the dome. Horse and buggy. I miss my city. I miss it every time we leave. Absolutely. You can see the Roman and Greek gods and goddesses right there. That's our little Freemason built building. Here, let's walk. That's where Savannah was first founded. That's where George Oglethorpe landed up on Savannah. Walk along this building. Remember, the cornerstone for this building right here is on the other side, and it's 30 foot up in the air. There's the Cotton Exchange where we just were. There's the first upper factors and lower factors walk right there. These are all the cobblestones and macaroons that I had told you about. There's the lower River Street. You can see that comes up about 20 feet to the two upper and lower Factors Walk right here. And then there's the cornerstone and the basement. That's considered the basement and cornerstone of the building right there. That's where the Freemasons emblem is. You can see it right there. But anything that came into Savannah had to be declared right up here. And you had to go into the customs building and in through this before you came into the city. Settings. Hold on, let me. I wish I just knew how. Why isn't there a button to just turn the camera around like quickly? Oh.
Go back, that's where you did it.
Yeah, send more. Moderators, ranking, muted account, blocked account, limited notifications. Here. 15, sorry, I'm super sweaty. Y'all just been with me. We've been walking around. We're going to shut it down now. But let's get right over here and let me show them one more time, Jill, if you'll back up right over here and just show them a little bit about Savannah. We were just up there at the Cotton Exchange, and this is all of the area that when they would bring all the commerce into the city. It would all come up through the River Street, come up through that 40-foot bluff right there, and they would disperse that commerce through the city. Just a beautiful area. That's the Cotton Exchange. That's the historic River Street. And we just did a loop right around there. And the next week or so, we'll take you on the rest of the city because there's all kinds of tunnels and stuff underneath there, underneath the city markets where the popular spots were. We were just over there in Johnson Square, and I showed you the Bryan Street tunnel that runs all along and connects the First African Baptist Church to the Pirate's House. So there's a long way over there, about a mile to get to the other side of the Pirate's House, and we may come back and do something on that. But
thank
I
you
love
guys.
Y'all. Hey, I love y'all, and thank you for joining. Thank you. In Jesus' name, I love you.
Okay, it's under enhance. One of your followers just told us.
It's what?
It's under enhance. You have to hit enhance, and that's where you flip the camera.
Well, I think you got it flipped.
I know, I did.
I'm
telling
now I
you.
do.
So you know for next time.
Well, I didn't know where the off button was last time. So I just couldn't shut it off. I thought we were going to be like forever live. But anyway, me and Miss Trumpet are live down here. I love y'all. Y'all know that we're on a tour. Oh, sorry. Y'all come on. No. We love y'all. We love you too. Hey, welcome to Savannah. We love y'all. In Jesus' name, thank you for joining us on this little trip to Savannah. We hope that you come with us every time we go out. We love y'all, and thank you for everything that y'all put in here, and thank you for your comments. I'm going to go back through and talk to y'all and answer some of them. I love you in Jesus' name. Jill, we'll see you. Have a blessed day.